Today we are going to talk about process recordings. A process recording is a social work student's reflection. What is a process recording? It's a written recollection of what was said, felt, and observed during an intervention. It's also an exercise to develop social work skills, self-awareness, and an ability to separate facts from judgment. Also gives you an opportunity to develop critical thinking. It's a teaching tool for the field instructor to provide feedback and guidance, and it's not part of the client system record. So you need to be certain about confidentiality here, and whenever you do a process recording, you use initials or you do not identify the particular client. Requirements. Complete at least 3 process recordings per semester. The individual SOWK 630 course and assignment, and there is one macro process recording. It's tied to the content in SOWK 631 and SOWK 632. For foundation students, at least one of the 6 must reflect an intervention with a group or organization, a macro system. It must be submitted with the field instructor's comments by the 5th of the month to the faculty liaison and in the electronic field notebook. This is the template for a clinical process recording. You fill in your name, the date of the interview, the name of the agency, the client system, whether it's an individual, couple, family, group, and the presenting issue. This is a specific issue that the client brings to you. Why is the client coming to you for? As an example, the client comes to you because they were just arrested with a DUI and they're here for treatment. And then your purpose is the specific reason for this intervention, connection of this meeting to the goals and service plan. So your purpose with this client who was just arrested with a DUI, your purpose of this meeting is to do an intake assessment and to learn the details of why the client is coming to you. So in the process recording, you will notice that there are a number of columns. The very first one being who is speaking, whether it's you as the worker or the client. So you identify whether you're speaking or the client, and then the content, which is the verbatim content as best as you can remember what was said by you and by the client, as well as any nonverbal observations you may make of the client. So as an example, if the client walks in and bursts into tears without saying a word, you may want to note that in the content section, even though the client did not speak. And then for skills used, these are real social work skills, and in your SOWK 630 class, your workbook is a Conoyer, it was by Conoyer, and there's a page out of there with examples of these skills. And I will direct you to this page momentarily. The next column is a gut reaction. This is what you feel about what the client may have said. So your gut reaction is unique to you, and it's what you feel. So as an example, this client I used before walks in and starts crying without uttering a word. You may feel sad with them, you may feel perplexed, you may feel like you don't know what to do, but the bottom line is it's a feeling and it's unique to you. And then the next section is your analysis. And this is your thoughts about the skill you chose to use, whether it was effective or not, how the client responded. So it's really your analysis of the interaction between you and the client. And then the final column is for your field instructor to comment, give you specific feedback regarding what was said, your reaction, what you might do differently next time, and make some recommendations, all of which will help you grow and develop as a social work student. Then there's the student assessment narrative, and that's the section where you briefly summarize your part in the interaction, how you think you did, what did you do well, what might you do differently next time. It can only be 2 or 3 sentences, but it's really a summary of, and it's all about you. It's not about the client. Okay? And then the field instructor may make overall comments, and the liaison usually makes some comments after the field instructor. So you can access the process recording template through the electronic field notebook. And how you do that is you log in to our homepage, www.ssw.umaryland.edu. You click on Academics, and once you've done that, you click on Field Education, and that takes you into the electronic field notebook. And you can see this, how it would look, the web page. So you log in with your UMB ID and password. If you forgot your ID or password, please contact the help desk at 410-706-HELP, H-E-L-P. Once you have logged in, the screen you see will look like this, and you will notice you would want to click on the process recording form. So the process recording form is in the electronic field notebook, and now let's go through what the actual process is for doing this. So you're going to identify the client and interventions for the process recording and talk to the field instructor prior to completing it. Again, to remind you, you're to have some role in it and not just observation. You are to schedule time close to the intervention to finish the content column. So as soon as you can after you have had the interview with the client upon whom you're going to do the process recording, try to remember the verbatim content as soon as possible after you have finished the interview. Then from the EFN download template, complete it and upload your content, and then complete the final section on the electronic field notebook, the student assessment narrative. So as you can see on the left side of this slide, there is the place for you to download the template. And let me show you what that looks like once you have done that. Okay, it will look like this. You type the information from your intervention into this Excel spreadsheet under the relevant column headings: the client, the content, the skills used, the gut reaction, and the analysis. And after you finish the Excel spreadsheet, you save and upload the Excel document into the electronic field notebook. After the download is complete, you will need to finish the process recording by completing the student assessment narrative section and then click Submit. Once you have submitted it, you will note that at the bottom of this slide it indicates that it was the agency name was Baltimore City Public Schools, and the client system, the date it was entered, the interview date, and the status is locked, meaning you have completed it. When you have a completed process recording with the status locked, you cannot make any changes or edits to it. However, your field instructor or your faculty field liaison may open it up if they want you to do some more work on it or some changes need to be made. At their discretion, they may go into the electronic field notebook and open it. At that point, once it's open, the status would be listed as in process. Once it's in process, then you may go in and make any changes or additions you feel necessary.